so I know that a lot of people think that this is a core steel manufacturing company and what would a commerce student go and do there. So just to clarify this thing, I would like to say that they have a lot of different profiles. For example, they have marketing, they have finance, they have corporate strategy, and being a commerce student, you have different roles which you can actually play there. For example, like which one? Your marketing.
Mine was a marketing project.
So I think
Yeah, yeah. In fact, there are different profiles. So there's sales, there's logistics, there's corporate strategy. In fact, corporate strategy was a very interesting project on GST this year. Our senior told us this is when we step into the internship. This is one thing that he mentioned. Right, you won't feel like you're a student or you're an intern there. You'll have that feeling that you are a full-time employee, and that's something we actually witnessed while working there. Right. Once you enter there, your work is actually valued. Just to relate an example, the solutions that my team that we provided was actually implemented the next week that we left. So, and even as a matter of fact, even the company officials whom we are working on, they're called our project buddies and heads. Their job is also under threat. So there was a case. It's a funny incident, but there was a case. My project buddy was like, okay, let's be at par with what we're suggesting, because if your solution is different from us, then there might be a problem we might have to face from the company. So it's not something very restricted to the core technical knowledge that we feel. And in fact, an interesting fact here is that the project, your team structure such, like in my team, there was one person from an IIT college and two non-technical people. So depending on the project requirement, the teams are made such, and it's very streamlined, the entire process. So could you just explain what your project was? And then
okay, so my project was in the logistics department. So it was a cell set up by McKinsey and Company. So it worked on supply chain management. So we had to look into plant expansion. So though this might sound a bit technical, but there are a lot of aspects which like you can have there's sort of a consultancy aspect to it as well, where you have to look into entire how will you expand the market, how will you look into the operations of the goods, like the movement of the goods, the operation of the plant. So it was a very exhaustive project, and we were a team of 3, and my friend was from IIT. So towards the end, everyone can actually contribute a lot in their own way, and the projects are definitely very fun there.
And in fact, I would like to explain my project also here. So I was working with the sales and marketing team. My project, there was a new product that JSW wanted to launch, and they wanted us to to have a market analysis for the product. So what we did was we went about the markets. So my product was in the solar segment, and we went about various areas, various solar markets in India, and then we studied what the market trends are. We even created a demand mapping for the same. So something very interesting which all of us can equally contribute in. And there were technical areas about the nature of steel that the product was. So this are the technical colleague used to handle that. So it's a very organized and well structured internship, and you won't feel the need that okay, I don't know this. There are ample learning opportunities that you like. You learn from your seniors. They're always open to help. You can literally walk into any. We used to walk into the vice presidents of Kevin, and he used to help us. Okay, tell me what help do you need, how you want to go about. So there was a really detailed form for that. And after that, based on the form they came up with the CV shortlist. So it wasn't marks based at all. It was based on your overall profile that you had submitted. So from a pool of 300 to 400 applicants, they got down to 27 shortlists from the CV.
Yeah,
and then we had
basically after the shortlisting was done, there was a psychometric test. So it was basically shapes, patterns, and figures. So in a limited time, you have to do around 20-30 questions, and basically complete as many questions as you can. So there is no proper preparation required for it. You can, in fact, there's no preparation required for it. It's your general aptitude.
For the entire process, I think there's no.
For the entire process, there's no preparation required. And out of the 27, they shortlisted 13 people for the final interview. And even for the interview, there was no technical aspect as such. It was a proper HR-based question. So you have to be very, you have to be very good with your CV. Like whatever you've written, you should be able to speak about it. Maybe it's your internship, your international exposure, or anything. So in the end, I think it was a very systematic process. There's no problem as such, and there's no preparation required which you should focus on. But one thing that I would like to say is that you should fill your form properly, because that might affect your final interview.
Yeah, and they ask questions about that, about the subjective questions that I mentioned. So
Yeah.
about that, and one general thing to conclude with, the entire process was based on they want good candidates who can work with the company. They don't have any specific skill set that they're looking for. So there's no reason why anyone should hesitate for applying for JSW.
So initially we had when we started the internship, so there was a proper ice breaking session. So as we told you before, there are a lot of people from different colleges. So we have a mini workshop where we interact with people, where we interact with our seniors, and so it starts on a very fun note. And in the initial 15-20 days, there is not there's not a lot of work pressure. So you have flexible working hours. You have your different projects, and according to the project, you have to see how many hours you have to put in every day. So there is no one standing behind you that you have to come at 9, you have to leave at 6. So this is a very good thing that we experienced there. But I think this gradually changed after the first month. So before the main work, the hard work or the main pressure, we felt the pressure that was after the first month. So
And there was a mini vacation. So
Yeah,
that's a really
exactly.
good thing. There is a mini vacation in between, a week off. You can say a week off for us before the final presentation. So once we returned from that vacation, once we returned after, we really had to pull up our socks and start working on our projects. And the best part is, it's not something which was forced to go on us, as in we were forced to work for the project, we were forced to pull up ours, but it's something which came in voluntarily from within. We wanted to. There was a very healthy competition spirit. Since we used to live together, since everyone around us, we were working on a project, getting ideas, learning from different people. So something's going on in his project. Okay, there's something available inside for mine. So that sort of culture was there, and we used to pull up really good working hours, talking to different officials in the company, getting their insights on a project.
yeah, exactly. Like you see people sitting there for like 2, 3 in the morning. So even you feel like that we have to do something. Plus, towards the end, the final presentation that we submitted to like the head of marketing head of the entire GSW group, or the, let's say, shipping head or the finance head.
Even the
So
managing director.
the MDs there. So that's an added incentive why you work so hard for it.
And it eventually boosts your confidence as a person.
Yeah.
So we, as second year undergraduates, we are working on a project and we present our solutions to some of the key industrialists in the country. And one reason why why the experience was so worth it, because the reason why they were sitting in the presentation was not just to judge us, but was to where they went wrong in the company policy as well. So they wanted what they can actually incorporate from the reports or from the work that we have presented, what they can incorporate in the company policies or in the company management. And I think more than 40-50% of the suggestions were actually incorporated within the, let's say, a month or something.
So I think the biggest takeaway from the internship would be the real life skills that you learn from there. Be it how to work with people, how to deal with deadlines, how to work in groups. So this might sound very theoretical, but I think during this internship, through different phases, this actually when you experience this, you learn a lot. And this is something which I think will really help someone build a personality and help them in the future, right? And also I think that in addition to this, I think this will be really helpful when you see it from a third year point of view. For example, I think in your placement also.
Yeah, so let's say when you were sitting through the entire placement process, there are so many questions. Basic HR question, okay, tell me a time when you showed leadership skills, or tell me a time when you resolved a conflict in a team. And see, like, after having experienced all of this, I can say this: working in a college, in a society is one thing. That's one kind of team exposure. But ultimately, the team exposure that I got from JSW, the team dynamics, we were a 3-member team. We were working, there were ups and downs, and times of conflicts, there were times when everything was going good, and like all the different times. So this is something we actually learn from different, and then you have so many things to talk about in your internship, like talk about in your placement process. I'm sorry, and I'm so glad, and like most of my placement interviews, they were mostly centered around my JSW internship, what I did, about different small intricacies, small here and topics about here and there, which I couldn't have prepared anyhow. I couldn't have prepared well in advance for them. That's something that comes naturally.
I think we can very confidently say that this JSW internship was one of the best experience of our
Definitely.
college life. And when we look back to what we did in college, this is something which will be there on top of our list. So we're very glad that we got selected in this.
And not only the learning aspect, but the fun and
Yeah.
the overall, the holistic. You can say the overall experience was to be cherished forever.
Yeah.